Hi guys. Today I wanted to talk to you about area searching. Now, what do I mean by area searching? Well, you found a property, you like the property, but it may be regional, it may be to an area that you've never been to, it might be an area that you know really well, but you should do your due diligence on that area. And in that area, what are the factors that are going to make this property either grow in value, decrease in value, not grow quickly enough? All of those factors that we're looking for. So we're very, very aggressive about the fact that we want this property to grow in value. We want it to grow in rental yield, and we want to be able to profit from the property. It's about cash flow. It's about building a yield maximizing property. So this is the play that we're going for, which means there's a lot more due diligence and a lot more research involved. That's what we do, and that's something that I want to share with you guys. So what are the things that we're looking at? So first of all, we're looking at the locality, we're looking at the area. What are the employments and jobs in the area? What are people doing as work? Are most of them involved in mining, or is there some big, government project in town? Is there one major employer in town? And if they go out of the area, will that significantly impact the whole town? As you can imagine, that's pretty common in regional areas. Is there a reliance on mining? If there is a reliance on mining, how strong are those mines? How long have they been there for? What sort of infrastructure do they have in place? Mining on its own may not be bad. It's just a matter of what sort of mining it is, how big the town is, and whether it can be sustained outside of just the mine alone in terms of employment. Because these are the people that are going to be spending money in the businesses that are going to be renting from you. Let's say there's a cafe in a mining town. Well, if the mine's doing really well, the employees are doing really well financially, they're spending a lot of money at the cafe. If the mine's not doing well, the employees are not doing well, and the cafe's got less customers, it's affecting you because they're less able to pay rent to you. What are the percentage vacancies in the local area, right? What's the building area like? What's the local area like? Is there a lot for rent? Is there a lot for sale? If so, why? It's a supply and demand scenario. So the more that's available, the less your property's worth in terms of rental and for sale. So just have a look in terms of stock levels. What is the government doing in the area? So government and big infrastructure often drives growth in an area. You will see this. There are parts of anywhere in Australia, but any of the major cities where the governments have come in and put in infrastructure. Behind that closely follows significant big building projects. So there may be apartment towers, shopping centres, when you see the council infrastructure going in, big libraries, community centres. It's often followed a big road plan or a train or tram plan. So governments work hand in hand, and so it's worth knowing what are the significant infrastructure projects that are going to be coming into this area. Is there a slowdown of the local economy happening? So one of the things that you notice as you do more and more research is that farming communities, for example, can have slowdowns. I mentioned mining before. It could be industrial manufacturing. It could be on the services and tourism side. Tourism obviously is quite seasonal. So you just want to be aware of where you are and what exactly you're dealing with. COVID was quite tough for some tourist areas, obviously during lockdown. And as soon as we came out of lockdown, they had the strongest numbers that they'd ever had. So just be aware that those local economies actually shape your property and thus your business. So that research is very important. Is anyone closing down in the local area? Is anyone creating new job opportunities? How's the population profile? Is it increasing? Are they older? Is it a retiree area, which is fine? They may have a lot of money to spend. Or is it younger with families and young kids? And that means more money coming in due to growth of population, growth of income, and those sorts of things that come with younger people. So what's really important is that you're looking at the area and making decisions based on some actual data. What has happened in this area? Where are we going with population? Where are we going with industry? Where are we going with employment? All these factors are affecting your property. Look, once you've done the area research, then you want to get a little bit more local around your property. And what happens then is we're looking at competing properties. What are the past sales of the neighbours? What are the past sales of a similar size block of a similar type of property? There's no point comparing your commercial retail shop to an office that was sold 2 streets away. We're looking at like for like. So we want another retail shop in the area. If it's an industrial warehouse, we want another industrial warehouse. And we're looking at sales history to see where that market currently sits. What's competing with us, right? So we might have done all our area research, but we don't know that there's someone, planning to build, we're buying an industrial warehouse, and just across the street, someone's building, 35 industrial warehouse units that none of them have been sold. Well, we want to know that, and we want to know what's going on with that. What are the plans? Is the owner going to be selling them all and bringing them all to the market at one time? that's going to make your investment harder to make money or harder to grow, slower to grow. So we want to know things like that. How many vacancies in the local complex? Ideally 10% vacancy is pretty good, pretty normal. Anything larger than that, higher than that can be a little bit worrisome. Obviously depends on the type of property. Ring up the agent. Ask how many for lease in the area. Your agent will often, whether it's your agent of the property that you're looking at or local area agents from another business, they're often the best sources of information to tell you, in terms of on the ground knowledge. Be careful. Agents have a reputation and some agents have an even greater reputation. So just be careful who you're speaking to, whose advice you're taking. But often what you'll find is that agents can be a very, very good source of information. Do a search on the commercial real estate websites. So what you want to do is you want to go out there and say, well, I'm looking at this property, but what else can I find online? What else is available? What else has sold? What else is for rent? Once you're seeing these numbers, you're starting to get a picture of an area that you didn't have only 1 or 2 hours earlier before you started doing research. So it's very important to tick all these boxes. One of the last things that you should do is do an insight person visit. So it's great to see the numbers on a property, but you should probably go there, take it all in, look at the site, walk through it, meet the tenant. If there's something that they're unhappy with, then you should probably go and speak to the tenants and say, well, tell me about that leaky roof. Tell me about what the landlord hasn't fixed for you. So you're getting an idea of your expenses going into this property, what you're going to need to spend. Look, you're going to find out if you go to the council searches about new development applications. Like I mentioned, if there's new warehouses coming in and you're buying a warehouse property, it can significantly impact your yield. So think about that. And generally just be aware that this is an area that you don't know as well as the one that you live or currently work in. So how do you get the best amount of data available? And there's a lot of data available. I mean, we know there's tons and tons of information available to us. So how do we best use that information to make the best investment choice? And I think a lot of buyers are not making use of that information. They're getting overwhelmed by the amount of information because there is a lot out there. But, what I'm saying to you here is break it down, look into these specific areas of the area, these specific parts of the locality. So first it's a little bit wider in terms of the suburb, then it's a little bit narrower in terms of the property itself, the property type, the complex it may be in, the corner it's on, the street that it's on. Do a lot of these types of research. Flooding is another one that we come across often. So have a look at the local flood map and basically just, have your wits about you, do the research. Come to us. We do research for you. If we can help you with that, we'd love to. But if you're going on the buying journey on your own, make sure that you're doing the homework. It can be a lot of work, but it can save you a lot of money in the long run. Thanks, guys.